Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Wednesday the 21st of April 2021. Today was match day, the last midweek game of the season, and it was not a good one. It finished at the Den. Millwall 1, AFC Bournemouth 4. Cherries too slick for hosts at the Den, and it had a feel of training ground pre-season vibe. No one was really bothering. I follow commentary was a disaster. You think it was an early kickoff at 6 o'clock. It was just we got to play this game, let's get out of the way. Do we really care about it? Does it really matter? And that was the theme of the day today. Yeah. Is anybody listening? Does anybody care? This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, which is Southern Press's online website. It says Millwall dropped 11th in the championship table as rampant Bournemouth ran out 4-1 winners at the Den. The Cherries took another massive step towards guaranteeing the playoff place. They leapfrogged Swansea to move third in the standings. Bournemouth started strongly, and Arnaut Danjuma thought he had given his side the lead after an incisive pass from David Brooks, but the goal was disallowed for offside. But they did go ahead on 16 minutes. A George Evans air kick allowed Philip Billing through to definitely lift over Bartosz Białkowski. Białkowski produced a superb save to keep out Steve Cook's bullet header, but Jonathan Woodgate's side added to their lead shortly before the half-hour mark as Mir Begovic's long ball was finished off by Dan Juma. Bournemouth added a third just before half-time. Brooks cut in from the right and unleashed a low strike into the bottom corner. The Lions pulled one back at the start of the second period, Jed Wallace converting after Cook diverted a Scott Malone cross into his path for his 10th goal of the season. But Dominic Solanke got onto the scoring after a neat interchange of Billing, a Brooks effort at the post with 20 minutes to go. Yeah, Dominic Solanke had a chance when he was literally 3 yards out and he ballooned it over the bar, but still Bournemouth were very, very good today and Millwall were not very good today, but I still think Bournemouth are a very good team. They passed the ball quickly with intent. A lot of these teams that play the passing game, they just pass it between the centre backs and the defenders in their own third, and Bournemouth were going forward and then but doing a sideways passing thing, but across the middle of the park or into the Millwall area. That's what they seem to be doing. Trying to get something to open up, trying to find a way to break through. They were passing it quickly, passing it accurately, passing it one touch. Compared to Millwall, I mean, Billy Mitchell in the first half, I don't know if he was told to play a certain way, but he took like 4 touches on the ball before he passed it to anyone. And in the second half, he changed a lot. He was a lot quicker and slicker on the ball, but something in the first half he was, George Evans played very poorly. Alex Pearce was bad as well. As bad as everyone's saying he was, but I think we've played today I think Bournemouth are Premier League team. I think they're probably the favourites to go up in the playoffs. I mean, the last 3 games we've played Bournemouth, Brentford and Swansea. 3 of the teams that are in the playoff places are at the top of the league. They had a quality, they had a standard of what you want to measure yourself against, and we lost 3-0 to Swansea. We drew 0-0 with Brentford, and we got smashed 4-1 by Bournemouth. So there you go. There's the gap. Mind the gap, close the gap. And if you want to, but here's the thing: they got their players that have transferred in for millions and millions of pounds. We can't do that, but we need to find a way of closing that gap, but without the money. Can it be done? Maybe it can, maybe it can't, but there's the gap. So let's move on now from comments from the manager. This is also from londonnewsonline.co.uk. It says, we got handed a lesson. Mill boss Gary Rowett's verdict on the 4-1 loss to Bournemouth. Gary Rowett admitted his Mill side were handed a lesson by AFC Bournemouth on Wednesday night. The Lions lost 4-1 at the Den, found a South Coast outfit too hot to handle as they chalked up a 7th straight championship success. Rowett's selection options were depleted even further ahead of kick-off when Murray Wallace and Shane Ferguson both ruled out for the remaining weeks of the campaign due to injury. The Lions already have Ryan Leonard, Ben Thompson and Matt Smith sidelined. Only Leonard has any chance of making a return before the season finishes. Yeah, don't bother, mate. And that was another funny thing today is like there's some kind of miracle because earlier in the week we were told Ken Zahor was out for the rest of the season. But for some reason he's starting today now. He started today. So what's going on there? He doesn't want to play? He doesn't want to play? So he's pretending to be injured? Or they've said he's injured and he said, oh yeah, I'm not injured. I'm not injured. You're saying I'm injured. Because you got a problem with me. Or they've had words, I don't know. But that's a bit weird. They put out a story in the press that Zahor's injured. It even come through on the West Bromwich side in their media, in their local media, saying Zahor's injured for the rest of the season. He won't be playing anymore. And go to Mill's Twitter at 5 o'clock and see the team sheet, and he's on it. So what's happening here? Is he getting put a strap on for getting subbed off? I don't know, but some funny business going on there behind the scenes. The Lions already have Ryan Leonard, Ben Thompson, and Matt Smith sidelined. Only Leonard has a chance to make business in finishes. Millwall were shaky defensively from the start. A fluid and pacey Bournemouth attack were able to cut through too easily, with Philip Billing, Danjuma and David Brooks all beating Bartosz Białkowski before the break. Rowett switched to a back four at the start of the second half, subbing off Alex Pearce for Conor Mahoney. Jed Wallace cut the deficit soon after the restart, but Dominic Solanke, who particularly bullied the Lions' back line in the opening 45 minutes, added a fourth after neat interplay with Billing. Rowett said disappointing, simply just because it is a game where you have to match Bournemouth physically and get close enough to them. I knew the team I had put out was just a little bit athletically compromised in some areas, which would be hard against a team like Bournemouth, but I hoped we could cope with it. We couldn't. We didn't get close enough to them. It didn't look like the game meant as much to us as it did to Bournemouth. They were a little bit sharper, competed, aggressive and were strong. They did those things far better than us. They looked better and bigger than us, while Bournemouth are a very talented side. The goals were very poor. They got into goal scoring positions far too easily. We got handed a lesson tonight, which we haven't had too many times this season. We got a little glimpse of what that next level looks like, and it's something for us to work towards. Asked about shifting to 4-4-2 at the start of the second half, Rowett responded, we had nothing to lose to try and get a little bit more pressure further forward. We could have started like that, but we were compromising the changes we can make. We're hugely impaired and compromised with our selection at the moment. So he's blaming the injuries for what's happening. And here we go. We got the if you look on the right hand side there, you can see the table now. We're in 11th place on 59 points, minus goal difference of -2. Middlesbrough in 60, 10th in 60. Cardiff in 9th with 61 points, and QPR, who are below us, but have gone on a nice little run since they beat us, so now in 8th with 62 points. And Luton are below us in 12th with 57. Stoke 13th with 56, and then there's a bit of a gap between Preston. So it seems we could finish anywhere, I would say, between well, we've got to play Watford, Bristol City and Coventry, is it? So we've got Watford, Bristol City and Coventry. I can see us winning one of those games. Maybe even just drawing it, and that would be the Bristol City one. If we're lucky, we could draw against Watford, beat Bristol City, and probably draw against Coventry. So that would be 5 points. So that will give us 64. Yeah, I think we're looking to finish 10, 11, 12, maybe even 13th, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of the season. Here we go. So this is from news@den.co.uk. It says Mill pair confirmed out for the rest of the season. There's no excuses for Lions boss after Cherry's loss. Gary Rout confirmed after the 4-1 defeat to Bournemouth on Wednesday that Murray Wallace and Shane Ferguson will miss the remaining 3 games of the season. Rout won't have had the full squad to choose from for any of the Lions' 46 league games this campaign. The Lions were down 3-0 to Bournemouth at half-time at the Den before Rout replaced Alex Pearce with Conor Mahoney. Mill briefly rallied as Jed Wallace pulled a goal back, but Dominic Solanke added a fourth for the Cherries. Nothing to lose, get a little bit more pressure for further forward, Rout said when asked about the half-time change. We could have started like that, but we were compromised in terms of the change that we could make. Murray's injured after Saturday and he's now out for the rest of the season. Shane Ferguson had an operation, he's now out for the rest of the season. There wasn't really massive amounts I could do defensively to give us that solid structure. That's our challenge. When you're missing some of the players that we're missing, when you've lost some of the options that we've lost, you also have to remember for a lot of players are having to keep going every single game to put out performances in physically. Maybe tonight we just couldn't go again with certain players. No excuses, we got beaten by a far better team on the evening. It's not just the technical side of the game. They outrun us, they outcompeted us, they look physically stronger than us, they look bigger than us. It's all of those things that we need to work towards. And yeah, if we want to get better, we need to be more like Bournemouth. But can we be more like Bournemouth, or do we just want to be a better version of Millwall? Okay. Just a bad day all round. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.